U.S. citizens and people with valid identification are getting caught up in the Trump administration's crackdown on illegal immigration. These individuals include Native American actress Elaine Miles. You might know her for her roles in The Last of Us or Northern Exposure or Smoke Signals. Elaine Miles says ICE agents approached her last month near a bus stop in Redmond, Washington, asking her for her ID. When Elaine Miles gave them her tribal ID, which is federally recognized,
right,
she says one of the ICE agents called it fake. Joining us now is Elaine Miles and Darren Thompson from Sacred Defense Fund, a Native-led nonprofit which helps advocate for Native rights and representation. Elaine, I'm so sorry this happened to you. What happened after he called your ID fake?
They just kind of kept arguing with me about it, and I kept telling them that it was from a federally recognized tribe in Eastern Oregon, and it's a federal ID, and only enrolled members can get those, because they kept saying anybody could make them. And I was like, that's not fake, it's a real ID.
Certainly,
I mean, listen, can anyone make them? Yeah, listen, just be fully aware here. I'm not sure that she should have been stopped in the first place. I don't know why she was stopped. I don't know what's going on here. I don't know the story behind it. Maybe there's some more insight. But now, the fact that they took her ID and then said it was fake, I understand why the story is trending. I understand why it is, because it's absolutely like, how dare you say a Native American is illegal in I understand that, right? I understand that completely. But guys, when it comes down to like tribal membership specifically, a lot of it just comes down to blood quantum specifically. Meaning the amount of like native blood you specifically have kind of within you guys. But can anyone kind of access it? If you have enough blood quantum, you can, which should be fine, because that means you are that part of that tribe, at least, guys, right?
And I was like, that's not fake, it's a real ID.
Certainly,
it's a wild story.
Somebody telling a Native American she's not necessarily in the country legally.
Right.
In a statement to CNN, the Department of Homeland Security says, quote, allegations that DHS law enforcement officers engage in racial profiling are disgusting, reckless, and categorically false, adding, quote, ICE was conducting targeted immigration enforcement traffic stops and encountered Elaine Miles driving a vehicle registered to an illegal alien. She was never arrested. Any claim that ICE questioned her tribal ID are false. ICE agents are trained to recognize tribal IDs and accept them as proof of status.
Okay, so based off this information here, so she was driving the car registered to someone who was not legal in the United States of America. That's why she was basically stopped. Okay, noted. We have the information now, at least here. If there is no body camera footage, right, then I'm not going to believe either or. You get what I'm saying here, guys? I'm sorry. It's both hearsay on both sides here. If the ICE agent specifically just had to make a report on it, he's not going to put in the report specifically that he thought the ID was false. The reality of the scenario here is that unless there's body camera footage, and that would help fix everything, right? But being that we don't have any of that information, I don't know. I'm kind of all over the place on this here, but it's definitely highly, highly ironic, and it's unfortunate, guys. Truthfully, for this instance here, very unfortunate.
Well, that is the official government response. Elaine, what is the truth there? What is your response?
I even asked them, because they are federal. I asked them, I go, you're a federal agent. You should know the tribal IDs and the tribal rights that we have, the treaty rights that we have. And they all just kind of looked at me, and I keep saying, after I talk about it so much these last few weeks, I wonder if they were really, really ICE agents or just bounties, because I know bounties are being paid, and if they're going to hire these bounties, they should educate them on our tribal rights.
Elaine.
Okay, guys. So that's another thing I was going to go ahead and point out. I wanted her to talk a little bit more so we can kind of understand her direct political ideology, because that could also be a thing here. Understand here, if she had any dealings with them, she would of course attempt to demonize by default, because it is against whatever her echo chamber is basically dictating is just and true. If that makes any sense here. And this is kind of why I'm saying this kind of feels like hearsay. Like, it's a cool story to listen to, because it's like, whoa, look at the irony of it, right? But how much stock can we put into someone who's inherently deeply biased by default, because their echo chamber has told them to basically be biased by default to the federal agents removing people from the country? That's my issue. right? But either
They
way,
claim that you were driving a car registered to an undocumented immigrant. Is that true?
I was not driving. I was not driving. I was walking. And that's why I even said, what did I do? When they stopped me, I go, I didn't jaywalk because I used the crosswalk.
Are
So
you
what did I do?
are you aware of anything similar happening to any other Native Americans?
Oh yeah, ever since I've started talking about it, I've heard about many natives that have been stopped, and about 2 natives that were actually in those detention centers. And one of them was from Arizona, and it took a few weeks for people, her tribe, to even find her in that detention center. And that's another thing I have an issue with, is why does it take so long for them to find them? What kind of paperwork do they keep, or do they just throw them in there and not take any kind of paperwork? Because why are they putting natives in there? You know?
Yeah, I would say. Darren, how often do you hear of situations where someone's tribal ID is not recognized, is called fake?
It's difficult to say, but it happens more frequently than we realize. And I think it's largely a result of lack of leadership and or transparency within the organization to emphasize that the use and issuance of tribal IDs is a real thing that has been negotiated with many tribes and the Department of Homeland Security.
yeah, the federal
Darren,
government's
what
aware
advice
of
do you
that,
have
though.
for other Native Americans who have gone through something like this or might go through something like this?
Sure. The need for legal representation is definitely always needed. There's a firm that you can look up called ICU Law, and there are attorneys that are on the clock that are ready and willing to help people stuck in this situation who are experienced with federal Indian law as well as the sovereignty that tribes retained, which benefits tribal members who have to go through an enrollment process to be enrolled in a tribe. So Indigenous people exist beyond the borders. However, Indigenous people who are born here and recognized by tribes is a unique political status here in this country.
Elaine,
And the
sometimes
tribal identification is a result of that. Sorry.
Elaine, sometimes people in the White House, including President Trump, are known to watch this show. If President Trump's watching right now, what would you say to him?
I would say educate your federal agents about our treaty rights and stick to our treaty rights, because those were for us a long time ago and they are unbreakable.
Elaine Miles, Darren Thompson, thanks to you both. Really appreciate your time today. Lots of you.
Okay, guys. So here's the thing. So if it was a widespread issue, I'd probably make a little bit more noise about it specifically, right? If it wasn't someone that that is kind of that is potentially occasionally in the limelight, that has had one very small role specifically that I think we know of, at least. No disrespect, obviously, right? But if it was, how do I explain it, guys? If it was someone that didn't yearn for notoriety, I'd be like, you know what? Hold on, maybe this is the thing. But but here's the thing: if more people start coming out saying the same exact thing, I'll be like, hold on, guys. All right, so I think we have an issue here, right? I think that's just going to be my opinion on this one specifically, right? Because without body camera footage, and guys, I think all these ICE agents probably should be wearing them. That would probably fix a lot of the issues, a lot of the hearsay type of things that are coming out, like the echo chamber based type of comments that are most likely going to be coming out, right? Like if it was completely indicative of kind of the actions that they were doing, I'd be like, okay, yeah, this is a problem. You have an immediate problem. But this is the first time I've heard this, right? If there's any more, obviously send me more, right? And then we'll figure things out. But if it's coming from CNN, I'm gonna take it with like that much, information, like belief, I'd say, just almost by default, literally by default. Guys, do you want to watch movies with me? I never actually thought to like promote it over here, guys. But if you guys do want to watch it, guys, we have hundreds of movies, and I mean hundreds of movies that we've reacted to. You guys can come watch them with me if you want to, along with many TV shows. Currently, we're working on the show Dexter, along with Vikings, and we have a lot of series that are already completed. But if you guys do want to watch it with me, the link is in the description. Everything's available at the second tier. But of course, if that's not your thing, guys, don't worry. Right? Listen, like and subscribe.